Hello there. Just gonna take a moment here, guys, to fix the setup. Kind of didn't check it ahead of time. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Nice to see everyone here. Okay. Hello, everyone. I see Queen Victor had to leave. It was nice of you to stop by. Thanks for coming to say hi. I know you'll catch up on this later, so thanks for coming to let me know. Appreciate that. And hi there, Sandra and Geraldine. Hi, Joanna and Miss White Swan. Good to see you here. And Janice, pleasure. Selena, Braden, Noble Truth, Jesse. Hi. How you doing, guys? Oh, I've had some crazy things been happening these past since the past week. I don't know if many of you managed to catch, but I was on a live stream, a roundtable on Order of Light channel with Robert Earl White and a bunch of cool people, and we were hanging out on Sunday. We did the stream or whatever, and it was a lot of fun. I had a blast doing it. I definitely hope we get a chance to do it again. And I think it was very interesting, the fact that it was such a sharp comparison to the first roundtable I was on before on Journey to Truth. I don't know how long you guys have been around here for, but back in I think November or so, maybe October, I was on a roundtable for Journey to Truth for the Starseed Adventure Conference, and it was terrifying. Oh man, I did so bad on that one, or at least I felt like it. Okay, like maybe it might not look like that to everyone on the outside, but at the time on that round table, I was like disassociating. I thought to myself as it was like these things were happening, I'm like, wow, is this what truly dissociating is? Like my body is I'm just trying to check out. I was like pulling myself back down and just rubbing my legs to comfort myself at the time. I couldn't barely say anything. I think I managed to say one or two things, but I just could not do it. So it shows me how far I've come, that I'm able to be on a round table and feel comfortable. I felt relaxed. Like even doing these live streams, it's gotten better. They say that the number one fear people have is public speaking, right? And in a way, this is public speaking. Doing these things is public speaking. So it really definitely has helped me with that. I'm very happy and grateful about that. I just want to see if there's any more people popping in here that I've missed. Hello there, Thesis. Nice to see you. Yeah, I really had a great stream. I had a great time on that stream. And so that leads us to really the first thing I want to talk about. Well, actually, before I go into that, hello, Tim. See you there too. Sorry. So right before the stream is getting ready to start. Yep. Hi there, Matthew and Laura. Right before the stream got ready to start, my tree Esmeralda, which I used to actually film my live streams in front of, and we had been looking forward to eventually going back out there. A storm was coming in, and this big gust of wind came along, and one of her three branches, one of her biggest branches, that was like literally it was the tallest branch, and you could tell that it was already dying some at the top. It kind of like the tree itself. There's a certain type of beetle that has gotten hold of the willow trees. It's called the Asian beetle, and it's like hollowing it out. It's like making it diseased and sick in some places. So it's slowly dying. But the animals have been taking it up, making it their home. All right. So the branch that actually fell, there was a squirrel's den that they had really burrowed out, and that's what made that so weak. So when that wind came along, and I was outside at the time, and we heard the crack, and it came falling down, and it was some scary shit, guys. I ain't gonna deny it was some scary shit. And save to wait. Let me just get pulled over by this. Okay, just making sure. Okay, yeah. So Obviously, these things always are really meaningful to me and really impactful to me. So I obviously was left wondering to myself, like, what does this symbolize for me? Okay, and a couple things came up. A couple things for me came up. First of all, that there was some part of myself that had been shed. That perhaps even though some part of myself, this part of myself, was still living, perhaps it wasn't in the healthiest condition. So it came down, and it was shed. I think it was a reflection, honestly, of some of the work that I've been doing and some of the shadow work that I've been uncovering. Like the true meaning of shadow work, I feel like I finally have like an understanding of how deep it can go. You know, the other thing I thought about too, honestly, that just popped into my mind as I was sitting there looking at this mess that got left behind was the fact that it actually, the branch itself fell on this blue orb that I had in the backyard. It's like it was this mirror glass orb that was blue, and I absolutely loved it. Okay, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is meant for me. I loved the color of the blue, and so I had it sitting in this spot for forever. And it kept getting kind of picked on, like some little squirrels. They're a special type of squirrel. When I first moved in, I had it set up. They would like knock it down and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna tell you guys something funny about myself with when it comes to this orb, though. I'm just gonna let you know something I was experimenting with. All right. So as I would sit in my backyard and I would meditate and I would contemplate, I thought to myself, because I've had people tell me like that they remember me from the past and that I came to see them in a blue orb. I've had more than one person tell me this. And so I thought to myself, like, what if I could make that blue orb some kind of portal or like creating it as my like TARDIS basically. Like what if I was like like Doctor Who, okay? What if this is the moment? What if my mind focusing on this thing and creating it in the astral, what if this is when this happens for me? Okay, and I start doing a lot of time traveling. This is just this weird stuff I think about, okay? So I've been focusing on this blue orb thinking like, I know I can do it. I know I can create something here, like with my mind, consciousness. I don't know what, but I know I could possibly do something with this. And so I thought it was very ironic that this tree branch fell directly on top of the blue orb, shattered it, and then bounced and rolled over a little bit. And I thought to myself, honestly, the first thing that came up to my mind was regeneration. It was the fact that every time the Doctor regenerates, okay, he gets his TARDIS explodes, and they have to redo the TARDIS every single time. So I felt like this was a very powerful moment for me, symbolizing this new rebirth, this death, and now a rebirth. Because then the next day I had a frog come into my house just randomly, and frogs apparently mean new beginnings and such. So these are some of the things that I've been thinking about when it comes to this tree branch falling, and just what a shock it was. Yeah. But I know where it was coming from if we are going that route. So what is it that symbolically I've been able to figure out? What did that represent to me from the work that I'm doing? And I do say, did I say like, share, and subscribe? Hey guys, could you like my video real quick? And could you share it and possibly subscribe to my channel, please? Help me build my subscriber count. I try to say that because I noticed that like every other YouTube stream does that too. And it seems like the times that I do ask, it works better. So, and I just want to say thank you to all the new people that have subscribed to my channel too from the past couple streams that I've been doing on these other channels and stuff. So the big thing that I've been talking about, if any of you guys have been following me for a while here, which most of you guys are, repeats, and I'm so thankful for that. It feels like I have a little family to open up to and share with. So most of you guys know that one of the things that I've uncovered about myself in this whole healing journey of what I've been experiencing and the tumultuous times that I've been going through was that attachment styles are so important. and telling you about yourself. And so I learned that I have a lot of fearful, avoidant, or anxious, preoccupied. It's like a mix, because when they go over some of them, like mostly I'm fearful, avoidant, but then there are some ways where I can be dismissive, avoidant, or anxious. And so I'm going to go over with you some of those core wounds that I discovered, because, you know, they've slowly been showing this to me. Like, this has been what I've been wanting for so long. I feel like all these years, what I've truly been working on has finally like shown itself fully. Okay. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm just so grateful that to finally, even though this is painful, like it's such a blessing to be able to have your awareness finally. It's like they finally granted me access. I somehow made myself feel safe enough inside myself to where more parts of me could reveal the true wounds that I have that I needed to heal. Okay. Like, cause I've already been doing the work. Like a lot of these things I had already uncovered. It's just that now that I have this label and I'm, you know, doing the research on it and stuff, it's like it brought all of the things that I've been doing, all of these little steps here and there that I did not even think were connected. And now it's piecing them all together. It's like that puzzle piece that I talked about last week. Okay. It's like I had this puzzle and I had these few pieces that were just like, they're important for me to get the full picture. And finally I got this piece, and it's like this piece connected to so many other pieces that now I can see something so much better. And I'll tell you the example that they gave me. They kept showing me, and this is how spirit talks to me. They just flash images of mine in my mind. I think a lot of times, like, I think most people just kind of push it aside, you know, like, why is this random thing coming in my mind? But I pay attention to those things. Okay, because it's usually for a reason. It's usually there's meaning behind it for me, like, because we're little receptors, right? We're little receivers of information all the time, even if we aren't picking it up with our five senses. You know, there's so many bits of information that we still register that we just aren't consciously aware of. Okay, so basically, they were showing me, they kept flashing to me an iceberg. Okay, and they were telling me, you know, like, we're on the top. We're like, you know, you're what you can see and what you're aware of right now. Yeah, you know some of it, you know, and this iceberg was my fears. Okay, this iceberg is the core wounds in the subconscious. You know, so the tip of the iceberg was what I was already aware of and what I've already been working with. Okay, and they were basically telling, and I could see it. Like, I'm like, wow, so there's like all this stuff under there that I haven't really been able to get a look at. You know, and finally, this tree branch falls, and I just so happened to find this video, and it was about 10 signs of emotional neglect in childhood, and like basically how it can rewire you, and it'll help your make your subconscious create these coping mechanisms to try and protect yourself. Okay, so when this tree branch fell, and I'd known that iceberg, you know, they've been showing me, it hit me. It hit me so hard what it was this whole time that I've really been working on, you know, because at one point they did tell me, they told, you know, and they brought this to my attention again as I was contemplating all this. They told me way back when my heart activation first took place, and they told me, share your messages, you know, share these messages, because these messages are going to lead to your greatest healing. And at the time, as terrifying as it was, the ideal of sharing my message and sharing my true feelings with people, you know, I didn't understand the full scope of what it was they were actually showing me here. I did make a link, okay, and I did start the healing process, but again, it was only that tip of the iceberg. I was able to connect it back again to a really early childhood memory of shame and rejection, and I thought, okay, wow, I got that one. You know, but really, these programs, how you get programmed attachment style wise, happens even before then. So I was on the right track. All along, but it happens before then. Even it happens 0 to 2 a lot of the times. Okay, and apparently it can even change a little bit as you experience other things that might be traumatic for you. So your attachment style can change. Because I know for me, from how they describe it, I was much more fully fearful avoidant when I was younger because I was more clingy, more afraid of abandonment, like needing constant reassurance and stuff like that. But eventually, like after my second ex-husband and the narcissistic abuse I went through with him, eventually I became more dismissive and just like, I'm not even going to bother. I don't even want to get close to someone because the possibility of getting hurt is just too great that nope, just don't even let me get close. So, and if you want to know your attachment style, you can very easily find a quiz. All you have to do is type in attachment style quizzes on Google, and one will come up, and it'll help you identify whatever one it is that you're dealing with. Okay. So really, like I said, the full weight of that message that they shared with me all that time ago, that this would lead to my greatest healing. Like it really finally hit me. I was like, wow, like this is really what we were working on all along. Like this was really it, and because there was no clearer example for me of that attachment style and the chains that I put around my own mind and to prevent me from feeling afraid or rejected or hurt or all these other things. So what are some of the core wounds that we can go over today of a fearful avoidant attachment style? And let me just briefly describe the type of environment in case you are one of these people. Okay, this is going to be really helpful for you. All right, so the fearful avoidant attachment style usually gets developed because the parent or caregiver that you are reliant on, okay, to be taken care of as a baby, all right, they are inconsistent, basically. She gave a really good example of an alcoholic. An alcoholic, let's say one day, they're happy and they're drunk and they're happy and, oh, you like that. It's a good feeling. They're treating you nice. And then another day they're sober and they're grumpy and, oh, like now you have to prepare yourself for that. And then maybe say another day, now they're drunk, but they're angry. It's like, and then maybe another day they're sober, but they're happy, so it's like not having a for sure footing of what it is that you can expect as far as asking for your needs, asking for those things to be met, and the thing that really stood out in my mind, and this is why I'm like, I don't want you to think that I'm saying that, because 0 to 2, you can't really remember those memories, right? I'm not saying that to just assume that you were abused. I'm saying everyone experienced trauma though, and they make sure of it. They've basically, with how they taught us to even take care of babies, that's been changing slowly over time. But if you think about it, back when I grew up, like making a baby cry itself to sleep, that was a very common thing. Cry it out. That's how you teach them how to self-soothe, right? Teach them how to go to sleep by themselves. You leave them there and you let them cry it out. That actually is probably one of the most traumatic things I think that you can put an infant through, because they don't understand. They don't understand time. And now what they're learning, okay, is that it doesn't matter how much I cry, doesn't matter what my needs are, it's not going to be met anyway. Maybe sometimes it will be, but at that point it breaks a person, it breaks a little newborn soul there, okay, saying that I can't count on the world to meet my needs, I can't count on it to be safe, I can't even count on anyone to care. I'm basically helpless and I'm powerless to do anything about it. And then then you want to create coping mechanisms to make sure that that type of thing never happens again. So there are things that are good that you'll do, and we're gonna get into that in a minute, in the coping mechanisms. Okay, so some of those core wounds that you're going to come up with because of that, if you think about it, just with the example of letting a baby cry itself out just to go to sleep. Okay. All right. Fear of rejection or abandonment. This is a core wound, subconscious core wound that people will take away from having inconsistent needs met, emotional situations to count on their caregivers. Okay. So fear of shame and abandonment, or rejection and abandonment. Fear of shame and making mistakes. That's a big one for me. These are all big ones for me at this point. Now I'm seeing, I thought I had done more work on this. I thought I had gotten farther on this, but now I can see the whole iceberg. So I'm like, awesome. Well, good. It's good. It's good. It's sad, but it's good. Fear of being unlovable, fear of unworthiness, fear of betrayal. Now, again, I had a feeling about all these. I pretty much have been doing the work to identify these in myself for a long time. I just did not know how deep seated they were. It actually felt like listening to this and taking in this information, it actually felt like a wound had been opened and cleared out. It was like that aching feeling after but cool and smooth. It was like, okay, all these band-aids have been ripped off and now it's actually airing out to heal. It felt like a relief. Like, wow, all of these things, the ways I've been being so hard on myself, the way I've the things I still hold on to that I feel shame about, the things that worrying about, is this make me a bad person? Does this not, like, doing the right thing? I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like, all this worrying about that, it was like suddenly it all made sense and I could put it down. I could take it off me. I could put it aside, put it down. And let me tell you, it felt like the weight of that branch that fell. That's how big it was. Like, I've been living in this state of stress and anxiety for this long because I just didn't realize how deep these wounds were and how they were really impacting me with these coping mechanisms. So what are some of the coping mechanisms that people might have, in order to protect themselves, right? So we got fear of rejection. Okay, the first one, that would be to reject others first. Fear of rejection. Actually, I wrote a little bit more on that one over here, I think. Fear of rejection or assumed rejection. So what you're going to do is you're just not even going to give anyone a chance to reject you at all. Maybe you'll just reject them first. Or maybe you'll just, like I said, assume that they're going to reject you. And now you don't have to feel that fear of what if they do, what if they don't, we're going to get back to those ones in a second because I do want to go over really just very briefly the childhood emotional neglect things that really hit me the hardest. All right. So if your childhood, you experienced emotional neglect, all right, these could be some signs of that. All right. You're slow to warm up to people. Okay. In relationships, slow to get close to them. Number 2, avoids closeness. Like, closeness equals pain. Love equals pain is the type of underlying message there. Okay, so you'll avoid it with people because as a child, you weren't able to count on that adult. So it was too scary to get close to them. So now you just learn, I'm just not going to get close to anyone. Number 3, being hyper independent and having a hard time asking for help, even feeling like maybe asking for help is a sign of weakness and not okay. And I know that's definitely something that I thought I had, I guess, the coping mechanism I have for dealing with that one. I thought that it was just something I had to accept about myself. I couldn't change that. Like, this is who I am. Well, at least I can do is just be honest with you about it, right? I thought if I'm just honest with someone about it, then at least then they can't be surprised or, this, that, or the other thing. But I have an extremely hard time asking for help. And I prefer not to do that if I don't have to. And when I do feel like I'm dependent on someone that I need to ask for the help, it's very, very difficult for me. It's a very uncomfortable feeling for me. Number 4 is a fear, like we went over that one, fear of or assumed rejection. So you're just going to reject people right off the bat anyway. Number 5 is low self-esteem or big shame wounds or feeling ashamed really easily. And I can definitely tell that I have a sensitivity to that I gotten better with it. See, that's the thing that makes me really happy about finding all this stuff out, is that it showed me that even though I didn't have those all together in front of me at that time, that I had been confronting each and every one of these a little bit at a time. And I had been taking the steps to correct it a little bit at a time, so I had gotten to a place in my life where I wasn't feeling so ashamed of myself anymore. Like, I really worked on letting all of that go. You know what I'm saying? But then real life comes along and it puts you in situations, okay, where you're going to be confronted or you can make that same choice. I've talked about it before, we attract the comfortable dysfunction of our childhood. So I was going to attract the same type of situation that was going to show me these things. Like I needed it to show me these things. Okay. So yeah, so to keep going, number 6 is being very hard on yourself, having a very hard inner critic. Okay. And that is definitely true for me. I know a lot of people really struggle with that one. Just like being too hard on yourself as far as like making mistakes. Making a mistake had big consequences for me. So, working to really make sure that none of those things happen is like exhausting. It's exhausting rather than just being able to accept, hey, guess what? Sometimes I am human. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm going to hurt someone's feelings. And that doesn't make me a bad person. It just makes me a human being. Okay. Well, when you're in that programming, when you're in that subconscious programming and it's trying to cope and you're not really thinking with your right mind, okay, like you're just going to go back to you're going to feel that even inside of you, you're going to feel that, that desire to be hard on yourself again. Like that's what happened. Is like I got tested and I realized that I started falling back into these old patterns. I was like totally like, this is not happening. I'm not doing that. I'm not going back that way. It needs to stop. I was able to finally put a stop to that, the endless amounts of it coming in. But now I'm left healing, I'm left cleaning up and doing all this work, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So number 7, I thought this one was very interesting. I did not see this one being as part of the emotional neglect thing. Difficulty opening up. Okay, so not only can it can mean 2 things actually. You can have a really hard time opening up to people and being vulnerable, because so you just won't. All right, or there will come moments, right, where suddenly you can't take it anymore, and now you're oversharing. Okay, now you're like sharing everything that you've been holding back for so long. Okay, and I feel like some of that has to stem from feeling unworthy too, the unworthiness thing. But yeah, or there's even another option. They said that it could be that you're really good at getting other people to open up as well, but then don't feel comfortable to be vulnerable and give back that same time. Right. And I definitely know I am a good listener. My Venus is in Cancer, and that really that leads to someone being a really good listener. And on top of the fact that I'm hypervigilant, so due from these other wounds that I have, so that it was like really easy for me to listen and to get involved in people's stories and feel for them empathetically and stuff like that. But sharing in kind back, that was like absolutely terrifying to me. There was nothing scarier to me than the thought of actually opening up and showing someone like what I really think and feel, but I did it. I did take the steps. They told me it was going to lead to my greatest healing. And now I really see what it was that they were walking me towards. And I'm just so grateful for it again. All right. Number 8 is believing you are weak if you need connection. Yep. Definitely can relate to that one. Feeling like, for me, it's feeling like I'm wrong to ask for it. Like I'm not allowed to expect connection, or to expect anyone to really care about my feelings in the long run. It's like shaming yourself for your own existence. Number 9 is boundary issues. So this could be extremely strong boundaries, like maybe too extreme, or having no boundaries at all, which was the one that I came into all this with, was really not knowing how to have boundaries. And so again, I thought that I was taking the right steps to create boundaries. Not that I was very good at them, but I knew that they were important. So I created 1 or 2, not that they were respected, but I took the step. I was trying my best to convey my emotional needs and wants, and I still got a ways to go, basically, because for one, we're going to get into here in a second, like some of the solutions to this, which were very helpful for me. But for one, and this is kind of embarrassing to say even, but I just want to say it so people can know, like, if you are the same way too, you're not alone. I didn't even know, if someone were to say to me, like, what's your emotional needs? Could you tell me what your emotional needs were? How would you express those? I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. I thought, what is emotion? What is an emotional need even? You know? Like I'd only newly come across the term emotional neglect even, and that, when you force someone to act like they're okay when they're hurting, that can be a form of emotional neglect. So that it started to open my mind up to like, okay, what is this whole ideal of these emotional needs? I had to look up a list. Like what is an emotional need? How am I going to ask for things? Like, how am I going to ask for emotional needs to be met if I don't even realize that that is such an important thing? Because for me, I'm just like, I'm not going to expect anyone to meet mine. Just don't expect me to meet yours back. Like, I'm not asking you to do it for me. Please, like, don't put that on me, because I don't want to be responsible for someone else's pain. I have enough of my own I'm already struggling with. Please, like, that's part of what kept me back from wanting to even form an attachment with people. So what they suggested, and I'm going to share this with you guys, as far as what it is we need to work on. First of all, reprogramming the brain and the subconscious is something absolutely you can do. Okay, it's absolutely possible. It takes 21 days to break any habit, really. Like, you have to get on the work and start doing it, which I'm going to figure it out. I don't have that part of the puzzle for you guys yet. But you have to learn to understand your own needs. So first of all, you have to get in touch with what those are. So that's the part of the path here that I'm at right now. What is it that my needs even are, right? You have to do the reparenting work. I've already been doing this one, really happy about that. Okay, so you have to reparent yourself. The person you are now, when I talk about traveling back in time with your mind to the version of yourself that was traumatized or hurt or experienced this, that, or the other thing, like that's part of the reparenting work. Going back to that version of yourself in your mind, getting in touch with that part of yourself, and being the parent for that version of yourself that your real caregiver or your parent couldn't give you at that time. Because the fact of the matter is that we're all born on this planet with a lot of trauma. Like, we've been carrying it around for generations. There's no perfect parent, so reparenting yourself when you're older is just so important. And then lastly, one of the biggest things they suggested was exposure reprogramming work for vulnerability. And now this was the one where when I heard that, and it hit me like, this was why they wanted me to share my messages. This is why it was going to lead to my greatest healing, because that's how you reprogram yourself. You give yourself emotions plus repetition, rewire the brain. Okay, so they were just trying to encourage me and get me to slowly share with the person that I wanted to connect with in vulnerability, and to keep doing it, to show myself that it doesn't have to be scary, that all of these huge fears that I have don't have to come into play. Like, I got to show myself and show my body, like, you're in a different place now. Like, you need to create a different level of an understanding of what safe and safety actually is and means, because safety truly isn't the comfortable dysfunction of the childhood, which is what your subconscious knew. Okay, so what it says is like, hey, guess what? Even though you went through all that trauma, you survived it, and we got through it because we have these coping mechanisms that created for it to get you through it. And since we don't know how you would get through any other, like a normal healthy type of dynamic or relationship, we're just going to go ahead and attract that same type of dysfunction that you had then, because at least we know how to get through that. At least we know how to survive that. Not a good technique to not a good thing to not be aware of in yourself. Okay, so the other tips that I had was becoming emotionally literate, learning what emotional needs are and how to communicate them, right? Because emotional literacy is a thing, definitely, that will teach you how to identify better terms for the exact feelings that you're having. Because obviously there's the main ones, mad, angry, sad, happy, joyful, You know, all of these ones, but those can be even identified and brought down to even another level. They can be more specific. You know, like anger, like could be frustration, you know, irritability, you know, other things like this. So becoming emotionally literate, like what I did was I downloaded a chart on um it was a wheel chart. It was different emotions. So I'm going to be going over those by myself, you know, learning those so that way I can learn to ask for what it is that I actually need. Okay, so being brave and willing to share your true feelings and be vulnerable. You know, make sure it's someone that you feel is safe for sure. Um, let's see, anything else? I think I covered. Oh, every trigger, I realize now, every trigger is an unmet need. Okay, everything that triggers you basically and hits that one of those core wounds of yours is a reminder that there's an unmet need that you have not learned how to express. So now at least I have that under my belt, that tool right there. I'm sharing that with you guys. All right, and learning how to express that in a healthy way. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up, actually, forgot about this one. Okay, so a big one for me, and that this woman, and I'll tell you what the YouTube channel was. It was the personal school of development. I might need to double check on that one. But I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. And she went over the reasons. See, because for me, okay, and not that I was okay with these types of behaviors in myself, because I have worked on them for many, many years. But the biggest one that I struggled with as far as bad behaviors goes is that I would let myself get triggered or upset or get into an argument or a fight with someone, and it would get to a point where I would be yelling and raising my voice and perhaps even name calling from time to time. And now when I was younger, it was extreme. Okay. Yeah. Like I didn't have like a control of it. I don't know what to say. Like I didn't have a limit for that. You know, this is what I grew up with, this is what I knew. And granted, I was in stressful situations. So for me, it was understandable that I was breaking in that way. But at the same time, I also had learned over all of those years that that doesn't excuse that behavior. Like you still have to control yourself, even if someone else is attacking you or is being mean to you or is abusing you. Like that doesn't mean that you get out of jail free card for being abusive back. Okay, and so I knew this about myself as part of one of the things I felt most shameful about was my yelling. Okay, and she really described the reasons for it really well. It was like, God, it's like she just revealed all the steps that lead someone there, the things, the true reasons behind that. Okay, so for yelling, a person who is doing that, the thing that they're really trying to get, or the thing that the need that that's being met through this, okay, is they don't feel powerful. They feel helpless. They don't feel seen. They don't feel heard. They don't feel understood. So when you're yelling and you're raising your voice, okay, like now you're taking that back. You're taking your power. You're it's not that it's a healthy way. I'm not saying it's healthy, but it's a way to feel powerful. It's a way to feel like you're not helpless. It's a way to feel like, well, you're definitely going to hear me now if I'm screaming it. You know, it's a way to feel like you're being seen and maybe not so much understood, but you know, that's really what the need it's trying to get met. All right, with the yelling. And so now that I can see that, part of me thinks, well, you know what? I shouldn't have to let myself get to a point, because I worked so hard on it for so long, and I've gained so much patience, but that doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I still do eventually snap after so long. But now at least I can see, okay, if I'm not feeling understood, if I'm not feeling seen, if I'm not feeling heard, and there's truly, and by expressing that even is not changing anything about whatever the conversation is, like there's no harmony there or whatever, that just gives me more reason, like, okay, I need to back off. I need to take a break. I need to be aware of my own needs. And maybe I need to take some space to calm down, to regulate myself again. Okay, because it's just that's going to be one of the biggest proponents to how I'm going to get back to a place where I'm not acting that way and maybe can make progress with someone in some type of conflicting situation. So I felt really good about uncovering that one. That one made me feel hopeful, that really, and not only that, but it gave me a good reflection, and it showed me like all the steps that I had been taking to try and prevent it. They were good steps. It's not that they weren't good steps. Like, I really thought I really was being more upfront and honest about what I needed. Okay. How basically, if we get like for me, if I get in an argument with someone, it takes me a while to warm back up. It really does. And what am I going to do, especially as far as trust goes? Okay. Because we're going to get back to these wounds in a second, but trust is a big core wound. Betrayal is a big core wound for fearful, avoidant people. Okay. So if we get in an argument, and I'm always hyper vigilant, and I'm always looking for these incongruencies with your behaviors, and then I find them, okay, and now I'm hypersensitive to these things, and I have these and I noticed this before. This is the things that I worked on, having a super sensitive fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response to feeling attacked or feeling like someone's judging you, criticizing you, making you feel bad. Okay, like when like the instance where I told you guys where I was called thoughtless for not having the TV show on the right TV show. That hurt. That devastated me at the time, because it's like, do you understand how hard I work to consider everyone and every single thing, and to the point where it's like exhausting, and you're telling me that I'm thoughtless? But I also could have taken it like this, like, okay, well, that's how you feel about it. I know I'm not, but it couldn't take that, because that was hitting a core wound, which was, oh my God, I'm a bad person. I'm not a bad person for not having the TV show on the TV show we were going to start on. I'm not. It takes a lot for someone to be a bad person, but I'm beating myself up thinking that this is the case. And so, I'm defending myself, from that ideal, not so much the thoughtlessness, is that I don't want to feel ashamed. I don't want to feel like a bad person. Okay. So to get back to some of the core wounds, and then we'll get to the tarot spreads, guys. The core wounds of rejection and abandonment, the core wound of shame and making mistakes, not being allowed to make mistakes. Okay, the core wound of fear. Yep, we got those ones. So what? How that they might show up? What's the coping mechanism for fear of shame and making mistakes? Well, it's going to be perfectionism. It's going to be hypervigilance. It's going to be heightened fear, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn responses. Okay, what's going to be one of the coping mechanisms for unlovableness? Well, people pleasing. Okay, ignoring or suppressing your own emotional needs, and self-betrayal in order to be lovable and to get that love. And I can definitely see where I was doing this, but I did not think that's what I was doing. Okay, I thought I was sacrificing. I'm like pushing down my emotions about this. I'm trying to be nice, trying to be kind. So see the example that's popping up into my mind is the fact that fearful avoidants have a hard time expressing, feeling safe to express when they've been upset, or when they've been hurt, or when they something is bothering them. Okay, so meanwhile, no one's asking me to not vocalize that, but I'm doing it because I'm like, I don't want to hurt this person. I want to be nice. I want to have patience with them. But so let's say we got like a 2 out of 10 upset. All right, and okay, I can push that one down. Okay, but now we got another 2 out of 10, another 2 out of 10, another 1 out of 10. Eventually, even though one of those 2 or 1s out of 10s, all right, is still a 1 or 2, eventually it's going to lead to an explode. Because I'm already suppressing all these. I'm already not sharing these things with you because I'm not wanting to hurt you. I'm not wanting you to be upset with me. And so now something small that shouldn't really be as emotionally reactive is what it is, and because it's the bigger principle for me, and now I'm expressing it, and now it's like because I chose to wait. That was it, because I didn't feel safe enough doing that, and it's not that I didn't even express the fact that I didn't feel safe. That's the thing. At this point, I'm glad I came this far. I was able to even identify that, and I was constantly trying to be like, please help. Like, I don't know what to do here. Like, we got to figure out something different. We can't keep doing these same things. It's just the same pattern. I'm like, if I'm feeling these ways, help me figure out like how, and I'll help. I'm doing my best to try and figure out ways for you to feel the same, like emotionally taken care of too. I just guess we just, recently, what I'm talking about with what I've been through. Okay. Like it just, communication wasn't there. Communication wasn't there. The tools, we didn't have the tools, right? Okay. So we got the fear of unworthiness. What can that lead to? Okay. Always trying to prove your worth. I definitely, fight with that one a lot. I struggle with that one a lot. Feeling like, not only that, I've literally been asked, like, well, what is your worth? And that's just why it hit so deep, because I have this fear, this core wound of unworthiness, and so I was always having to feel like being prompted to explain, being prompted to give all these details and justify my very existence. Like, it's too much. It's too much for a person. They really got to I have to learn how to overcome this. Like, that I am worthy. It was like, and here's another thing that came to my mind as an example. It's like my subconscious mind. It's like all these parts of me, okay, that want to feel love and want to feel close and want to feel connected to someone. Okay, it's like there'll be times where I do. There'll be times where things happen, and it's like, and I let it in a little bit. Like, oh, I can be loved. Okay. Oh, these people do possibly like me, and they're not just like tolerating me, and like, so then I would let myself feel love for a little bit. Oh, that feels really nice. Oh, I really like that feeling. But then there's like this police officer in my mind version of me comes along and is like, hold on. Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, we let you feel that for long enough. That's enough. You let yourself go on too long like that, could possibly lead. You saw what happened before. You saw all those times before. So you better stop. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you better stop indulging in those feelings right now. So that's the kind of so that's the programming I'm fighting at this point. And I feel like I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me about this stuff, about realizing like, okay, no, that's a part of me. That's what's happening here. That I'm literally the person stopping myself from experiencing these things that I want. I'm the one stopping myself from it. It was like I could see like just these chains. Like here, I thought I'd gotten one off. I gotten one or two of them off, but now I just got to see like all these other ones that I have to get out the chain cutters here. All right, so the other one, fear of betrayal. Okay, so how might we cope with that fear of betrayal and not being able to trust? Well, you just won't trust anyone. Keeping people at a distance, not allowing or suppressing any type of an emotional attachment that you might feel. Put it like no, like it's not that important, or I don't really feel that strongly about it. Because you don't trust someone not to eventually do that thing, that to recreate that same experience that you had when you were younger of being hurt and betrayed. You're like, basically you're just on edge waiting for it to happen. It's not possible that someone could just love you and like you and not behave in those ways. But here's the other thing, people are humans and they're going to make mistakes, and there might be times where someone hurts you, okay, but not overreacting and making it an all or nothing type of black and white type of scope of thinking. That's where the healing and the correction really needs to happen. Okay, because there's got to be a way to share your feelings with people, even when things get hurt, to be able to look at that other person and be like, yeah, I know you didn't mean to hurt me, and I don't want to, like, because that's, for me, that's one of the biggest ones that I had to face with when I did actually take a stance and I did try to step up for myself when I was around 12 years old, and I let my caregiver know, like I let my mom know, like, it hurts me. It hurts me when you yell at me. It hurts me when you treat me this way. And and her response was it was not positive. It was not positive. When I shared this thing with her, and I said to her basically like, well, if taking it out, if you take it out, your stress on people that you love the most, well, then I'd just rather you not love me the most. Thinking that will get her to see, right? That will snap her into realizing like how bad this is hurting me, so she'll stop doing it. But instead, she withdrew, and my little 12-year-old girl version of myself, I could not handle that. She was my everything at the time, and so I ended up going and I ended up apologizing to her, and saying like I shouldn't, like, I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm like, so I definitely have to. I'm working on that one too. Working on, like, there's got to be a way in relationships with people where you can express these things, and it doesn't have to be met with, okay, well, I'm out of here then, I guess. Like, that's really what I've experienced with that. Well, it's not okay. You're not allowed to tell me that. Because for my mom at the time, it makes sense to me being a mom now, though. It was too painful for her, the idea of having hurt me, because she obviously had her own core wounds with these things too. This is where it passed down from, and my immature self, I couldn't think to be patient and let her come back to me. Maybe let what I said sink in a little bit and let her come back to me. I couldn't brave that time. I just had to go and make it right in the way that I could. Okay. So there'll be more to come, guys. There'll be more to come. But anyway, I really encourage you guys to look up your attachment style, because this is definitely part of the healing journey and figuring out who you are. Well, did I see Emily? Oh, hi, Emily. Sorry, I saw her name in the corner of my eye. Wanted to say hi to her. And hi, Greg. Nice to see you here. Hopewell Farms. Nice to see you. So I haven't read any of the comments really so far, guys, but I will. Let's pull the fortune cookie and stuff. I'm going to take a drink of water here. There is one more thing that I did want to kind of add to or talk about. Nothing about any of this stuff. Something way more lighthearted. Like, dang. That was just a lot for them to just show me like that. I really do hope that everyone else can figure this out too. And I hope that it's not as bad as deep as some of the things that I'm looking at here. It's like, Jesus. So much. So, yep, I think I talked all about that. So yeah, not that long ago, I did mention that I would probably be doing some dance videos here shortly. And I'm quite excited about it because I am getting amped up and ready to do it. I'm kind of, I got a kind of a pentacle energy when it comes to this stuff. Okay, it takes me a little bit to warm up to it and get it going. But once I do, it's really good. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be doing something like that. Because, for all these years that I've been dancing almost every day, I never had a mirror or any type of reflective surface where I could watch myself at the same time. So part of what I was nervous about is, doing my dance, whatever, having it be recorded and not really knowing like, what is it going to look like, So I think part of that made me a little bit nervous, besides getting the setup and having music be able to play at the same time. And I'm bound and determined to figure it out. But I was able to actually watch myself. The other day I was upstairs in my son's room. They have a big double mirror closet door. So I was able to watch myself dance a little bit, and I thought, wow, that actually, I feel really good about it. I feel really proud of myself about it. Like, I really like the way it looks. And I was like, okay, I think I definitely could do this and share this with people. Because, I've gotten it down to a science now. I call it light weaving. It's like I take light cords out of the air and I move them with my hands, and it's kind of cool. So I'm excited about that. I am going to show you guys that stuff. So get ready, because I know that last time I mentioned it inspired someone to go make a video recording on Facebook of them singing some beautiful music. So, and they tagged me in it. So I was really happy about that. So, all right, let's pull out the fortune cookie. Let's do the fortune cookie for today. Okay. What's the collective message that we need to hear? Thank you guys for being here. Hi, Hope. I don't think I said hi to you yet. All right. All right, guys, on the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yum, yum. Love yourself first and everything falls into line. Well, that's not just perfect. Yes. And I think honestly that is and I did think about this earlier and didn't mention it until this triggered the memory of it, is the fact that thank God I had done the spiritual work ahead of time. Thank God I had already felt like I reconnected myself to God, because I think that's where I drew my self-love from. Not that the well of it hasn't been depleted, but I had enough of it. I had enough of it to feel safe enough again for my mind and body to finally show me how much work there is to do here in regards to my fears. So self-love. Okay, self-love is very important. Working on that. Okay. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. Tarot time. It's tarot time. Yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention too is I was thinking about the fact that I love all of these. That should have been another tip off for me. I feel like when it comes to, or at least it showed me that it's what even though I was saying one thing, my heart was obviously wanting something else, because here I am watching all of these Korean dramas and stuff like that, and these love stories, these beautiful, beautiful love stories. And for me, I realized, yeah, it's a lot easier to just be able to watch from the outside, watch a love story or watch a couple from the outside and be like, wow, that's beautiful, and to feel it how you do with movies. You're empathetic, you sympathize with it. But then in real life, it's oh yeah, no, from myself, oh, I don't know about from myself. But now I realize that's just because I was afraid. Just because I've been afraid. So now we're going to do the work. I'm going to heal my attachment style. And I'm going to get further on this healing journey and really, I just feel truly in alignment with my highest timeline of love and joy, even though I've been through all this and I'm at this place right now. I feel like every step of the way has been on purpose now. It just reaffirmed all the things that I've been through and the changes that I've made over these past couple of years. Because, you get to a certain point sometimes where you're like, God, what, did I fuck up? Was this the right way to go still? Yeah, it was. Because this is where they were owed to this moment. Okay. So we're doing collective message. Okay. Reading. Is it tell us what we need to know? Tell us for the collective what it is that they need to hear. Of energies for the next week. For the next week. Okay, there we go. That's writing. For the collective energies for the next week. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Message for the collective. Message for the collective for next week. Okay. First card we got is the Six of Pentacles, or the Six of Cups. Mess that up. All right, so the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is an opportunity for healing from childhood wounds. That is one of the biggest proponents of this card. So definitely going to be working on that. And it can also be a little bit of nostalgia, a bit of reminiscing, you know. I mean, that card, it makes perfect sense to me why this card would come out, guys. So you're thinking about those good times. You're thinking about that past. You're thinking about those memories from childhood and how they affected you emotionally. Okay? And you're being able to come together with yourself and to actually heal that. But let's put some more cards down on it. Okay, give us a little bit more for this message for the next week. Okay, tell us more about this. Tell us more about the Six Cups. Okay, ooh. Another Cups. Very emotional energies for the next week. We are in Cancer season too, so not surprising. We got the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is, well, the traditional meaning usually means it's like wondering if that grass is greener on the other side, daydreaming, perhaps even like, what about that secret, that fourth cup, that cup of that love, that one that's you're wondering about, and you're thinking about it. And the truth of the matter is, and I really like this view on this card, is that you're just not looking at where it's at. It's already there. This thing that you want, this love, okay, that you're pondering about, this emotion that you're pondering about, it's already there. It's already like it's being handed to you. They're like, hey, oh, that thing you were thinking about, yep, here it is. Here's that love that you wanted. It's just right up there for you to grab it. You just got to reach up there and get it. Okay, so we're going to do some childhood wound healing. And that love that maybe perhaps you're wondering, like, am I ever going to be able to feel that? Am I ever going to considering what we've just talked about, like, am I ever going to be able to find a way inside myself to actually receive and feel love? Okay, and the fact of the matter is, I think it's pointing to the sign of yes. Yes, because that love that you want, it's there already. Okay, it's just a matter of changing your perspective, looking up. Kind of reminds me too of Esmeralda right there too, with it coming out of the tree like that. So anyway, let's keep going. That was just random. Okay, so tell us any more. Tell us a little bit more about this reading. 5, 6 of Cups. Give us a little bit more description for last week here. All right. And last but not least, we got Temperance. So this is a time of rebalancing. This is a time of bringing things back into harmony. And this is a major arcana card. So this is absolutely a powerful energy that's going to be rolling through here. So this thing that you've been working on with healing, or just even reminiscing about your childhood, those good things about that love that maybe you didn't have, or that you wanted, considering we have the Four of Cups here next to that. Okay, like that can and will be yours again. You'll be able to get that feeling. You'll be able to know what that feels like again. It's going to take some rebalancing. It's going to take some calm space and territory. Like, really, I feel like it's saying, like, trust. I see an angel in this card, so trust the angels are helping you. I do truly feel like they have been the whole way through here too. My guides, my higher self, my future self. Trust that they're going to help you with this. Okay, and they're going to help you figure out how to get this all squared away, so to speak. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can see about it. I can't think of anything else particularly other than what I've already said. Just restructuring. I can see this kind of too as like a restructuring around it's like showing all the depths, all the little levels, all the little tiny things. Like, it needs to be all these little things inside. These are going to be rebalanced. It almost kind of even reminds me of a honeycomb, a hive of some sort. So take that for what you want. That is that one. Okay. Now we're going to go on to the Adventure Time. I really liked that reading, though, for the collective for next week. Personally, for myself, too, I really felt that strongly, that it resonated. And yeah, I even really, when I stopped to think about the cards we got last week, too, like I really felt those come into play pretty quickly, too, with the, if you guys remember, we got the Devil card last time with the Adventure Time cards. It was the last card. And it had the Vault on it, Finn's Vault, where he represses all the trauma that he's been through, you know? And so I really felt like, okay, it's time to delve into that. And like that absolutely was what happened. It felt like with the whole iceberg revealing what was really going on in here. See, it's like I had identified the feelings of what, like, oh, I knew it was fear. I knew it was fear even of rejection. I knew, like, but I'm just so happy they pieced it all properly together for me. They just brought it all into one place for me, where it's just like all spread out before. Okay. So let's do a reading again. And I will again come back soon, guys, with doing readings for people in the actual chat. I've just been through a lot energetically, emotionally, and stuff like that, that I didn't want to, I didn't have it in me to really do a long one like that. But that's coming back around because things are getting better for me. Like there's definitely been a more peaceful existence for me over these past couple weeks. Message for the collective. As you guys know, it's just going to take me a minute for this deck. Takes a sec. Okay. All right, guys. If you're doing a reading for the collective, I ask that you please help us. Please make a note in the row. Clear and concise reading. Okay. All right, I feel it. Message for the collective. What do you want? Message for the collective. All right, here we go, guys. Okay. Give us our second reading for the collective for the next week. Tell us about the energy for the next week for the collective. All right. This guy likes to come up a lot lately. Okay. So this guy is, we got the Eight of Swords, right? All right. Now, this guy, particularly in Adventure Time, his name was the Duke of Nuts. And he was having some trouble. Well, I can't believe they even addressed this in this show. But he had a child who he could not see. The mother was keeping the child from him since they had been split up and divorced. And so the whole episode was about him feeling like his hands were tied and he couldn't do anything about it. Okay. But, obviously eventually they resolve it. So this could be very much a situation in your life where you feel like you just don't have no power or control over what's happening. You can't even see what's going to happen. Okay. You're just kind of left to your own thoughts and to wonder about it. And it can be a little bit of an anxiety type of feeling because, swords energy can be a little bit anxious. All right. So maybe there's something that you feel trapped on, but just like you just you can't see or you don't know everything. You can't get out of it. Be patient. Okay. There is a way to get out of it. It's possible you just need to wait for more information to come through, or you needed someone else to come along and maybe take that blindfold off, so to speak, or you needed to lean against one of those swords, which is your thoughts or your words, and you needed to cut yourself free somehow, carefully. Okay, tell us a little bit more though. Okay, next week, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Next week, tell us more about this Eight of Swords next week. Wow, okay. So we had all cups for the last reading, right? Well, now we're getting a lot of swords. Okay, we got swords again. We got 9 of Swords. Okay, which is the card directly after 8 of Swords. So now maybe you see more. Like for instance, Lemon Hope here, this little Lemon Hope guy, he was trapped. He was meant to be the next ruler of the Lemon Kingdom, but the two people rulers of the Lemon Kingdom, they absolutely hated Lemon Hope, and the fact that he could play music beautifully, because for some reason the people of the Lemon tribe, they like music that's like just horrible sounding, like squawks and broken instruments and stuff. And so Lemon Hope could actually play really beautifully, so they actually hated him. And Princess Bubblegum came along and she rescued him and took him to the kingdom, her kingdom, to teach him until he was able to go and take the throne. But the thing is that he didn't really want to take that throne. He kind of wanted to understand himself. He kind of wanted to do something for himself and not have to think about all those people. And so he would just sit there and worry about it. He's got all this anxiety, like I just want to do the things that I want to do, and am I doing the right thing for my people? Eventually, he was given permission, and he did go do what he wanted to do. So the other thing that you can think of with the 9 of Swords, which I kind of started to mention already, is this is a lot of mental energy. This is a lot of mental energy. This is a lot of possibly worries, anxieties, fears, things that are keeping you up. Could be waking you up at night. Possible could be even night terrors sometimes. Okay, so something is really on your mind. Something is some stuff is really going to be on your mind. You might feel a little bit overwhelmed about it. Okay, but let's see what the last card we get is, to see if we can see how this is going to turn around. Okay. So we got the 8 of Swords, we got the 9 of Swords. What is the last card you want to tell us for this message, guys? Next week, what's the last card? Everywhere I look, there's a sword. Got the 3 of Swords on the bottom right here. We got the 2 of Swords. We got the 2 of Swords. Okay, so there's something that you are definitely worried about. You feel like you need to make a decision on. Okay, something weighing on your mind a lot. Ah, yes. So what can I tell you about this particular 2 of Swords card? Well, this is Starchy. Okay, Starchy was the grave digger for the Candy Kingdom. It's also like the janitor and stuff like that. He cleans up streets. In this particular scene, it was a slumber party where everything went wrong and people turned into zombies. Okay, and they didn't know how to fix it. All right, so I don't know what we can take away symbolically from that one. A lot of times I usually can tie it in and figure it out, and perhaps I will at some point here. I feel like this could have something to do with the moon's energy. I don't know what next moon phase is. Is it a new moon or full moon? I'm not really sure. But I get the feeling that around this moon time, this new moon coming up, I feel like this is when these energies are going to be heightened, of just feeling like you have to wait, like you're in limbo. You're just waiting for it, because it really, in both 2 of these cards, 2 of them, your eyes are covered. So it's like you don't have all the information that you need possibly to move and to make that decision. Okay. The other thing that it brings to my mind is just part of one of the examples that she was giving me in some of the fearful avoidant videos that I was watching, where she was saying basically, if you don't know what is in your mind, if you don't know what the interior of the mind looks like for you, like where these core wounds are and how they've affected you. And so it's like, you think about it like a house set up. Okay, like if you don't know if you're blindfolded, you can't walk through that house easily without bumping into things, and not being able to find things properly. But, once you do that, once you take that blindfold off and you're able to really get a good look at the house and see, okay, well, this is where this is at, and this is where this is at, and that's where that is at. And so once, even if you do have that blindfold on you, okay, you're going to have a better idea of how you're getting around these subconscious things, that these fears and everything like that. You're going to have a better idea once you've been able to at least stop and look at the layout of it. Okay, so look at the layout of it and realize that you're going to be able to, once you figure that out, you're going to be able to make your decisions. You're going to be able to move forward. Okay, so eventually, yeah, it's going to be decision time. And the good news is that, usually you have a big old sword to help you make that decision. Pick one. You're going to pick one and you're going to swing it. But perhaps you won't know which one you're going to choose until that moon's energy is coming, which is also Cancer season, which is also ruled by the moon. So there's a lot of really powerful moon energies going on right now when it comes to life. When it comes to life, there's a lot of powerful moon energies going on right now. So think about that. Moon energies are very motherly, nurturing, hormonal, even though it could be a little bit up and down. The deep things, the deeper emotions in life. The last thing I'm going to say before I put these cards away is the last thing that I'm noticing here about this Two of Swords, this particular Two of Swords, is that even though there's all this chaos going on around him, he's calm. He's calm and he's staying still and he's holding a space. And he's not letting any of that other stuff affect him, like the fear. Because truly, like I said, that's what this episode was about. It was about, the zombies coming and being afraid. Well, Starchy's not afraid. He's holding a space. And he's waiting for the right move to be made. To know which right move to make. All right, I hope that helps you guys. I hope that resonates with you guys. All right. I definitely know some people that it could definitely relate to, I'm sure, up in here. What's going on here? Oh, wait, did someone come through here? Ooh, did we get someone coming through here? Oh, snap. My mods got it. Oh, man. Thanks, guys. We had a tarot hater. Damn. Nice try, guys. Nice try, whoever that was coming in here thinking that my mods weren't going to get you. Thank you for that. Thank you to my mods for being here. I really appreciate that. Hi there, Trevor. I see what you're saying, Noble Truth. Oh, wow, look at that. You made it at the end. Hello there, Alexis. We just finished. Yeah. The first reading was really kind of a lot easier, and I definitely could relate to that one a lot more. The second one was a little rougher. I will say that just because, like, why are there so many freaking swords here? Man. Oof. Yeah, thank you, Geraldine. I do have fun. And I have done quite a few readings this past week, and it's been keeping me sharper, helping me stay on fresh. I'm trying to think of what the word was. Fresh. So yeah, get excited, start looking forward to some dancing videos. Really excited about it. Guess I'm just waiting to see if anyone else has any questions. And if you are looking for a reading from me, definitely reach out by email. You can email me at auroradiamondheart@gmail.com. I'm just reading some of the comments. See if there's anything. Oh, that's so funny. Can't believe I got a troll. Such a rare thing for me. Yes, definitely please give me a like on my video. Let's see, I'm just reading. Oh, I'm trying to see. Just sorry, guys. I don't mean it to be silent. Yeah, better fresh than stale. That's for sure. Yeah, thank you, Noble Truth. Yeah, that's someone I just did a reading for. It was pretty good. I enjoyed that reading too. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll way back up and see if there's anything else. Okay. Yep, yep. I love that everyone's so interactive with each other here. I'm glad. Our little family here. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Greg. He said, I'm so sorry you feel that way, Aurora. So many love you, girl. I understand. I have programming as well. Yeah, we can reprogram a true story. That's exactly what I've been working on, for sure. I feel good about it. I feel hopeful about it finally. Before it just felt like so many pieces that need to be put together that were just like so many spread out so far. I just did not know how to do it. Just overwhelmed with it. Okay. Yes, definitely, Sandra. I see some of your comments. I'm so glad, Emily, you could make it. I got some moves, Greg. I do. I got some moves. I really enjoy it too. Nothing makes me feel better than dancing. You know? Like I can feel it moving the energy throughout my body is when I do the dancing. I'm gonna describe that stuff when I actually do make the videos and stuff. I'll be talking through it a little bit, letting you know, because like I can just feel certain things as I'm doing it, especially because when you get those hands turned on, I don't know about anyone else, but I can feel it. I feel the energies. I can just feel it like I'm sweeping myself off. So yeah, I think about the meridians, right? I think about the meridians and pulling the light, okay, and then I can pull that light and then I can direct them into certain meridians, certain channels, and I just do that with my dancing, okay, and then you can really start to get into like moving that energy up. Like once you get it really worked up inside your body, you've built that chi, inside your body, and if you just move certain ways, you're gonna start moving that up. You just keep moving that up. I can feel it even now as I do that a little bit. Just keep moving it up until it comes up and out. So that's why I feel like qigong and dancing, like it's very similar type. You can put qigong easy into dancing, just little moves. You're just not doing it in the format and the structure that other qigong practitioners give. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. I think I'm going to take off now, though. I had a great time, even though I'm talking about such heavy subjects. It's like I look forward to sharing it, but then at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to like feel it as I go through it some. And I just hope the thing that I guess I worry about the most, especially when I'm struggling and I'm going through these hardships, is knowing how connected we all are together, and knowing that there's been times that I could feel other people's pain that I'm connected to, and so a big part of me sometimes just worries about like now I can't even feel connected to these people, because if I feel connected, like what if I'm sending them all this pain that I'm feeling, and I don't want to just keep sending this endless stream of pain, so now it's like I feel like I have to cut these connections, these cords and stuff like that, and I can't. Now I'm going to feel even less connected to people because I don't want to share that type of energy with people. I want to be happy and be a positive experience and person in someone's life. So that's like type of the thing that's just the type of thing I worry about, because even when I was going through all of this stuff, it was like just sharing with people. Sometimes it just got to a certain point where it was like, yeah, I'm going through these things, and yeah, I want to share it with someone, and I want to be able to get it out, but damn, it just feels like all I have to talk about is that shit. And I know I've said this before, guys, but it's like, at what point is it that you're sharing with your friend as versus emotional dumping, right? Like, I guess this goes back to that core wound. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to hurt someone. You know, like, I know what it's like to be hurt. The reason fearful avoidance, people who are hypervigilant are so on top of it, not wanting to hurt other people's feelings, is because they know what it's like. You know, I know what it's like to have my feelings hurt. And I would never want to put people through that if I can prevent it. And sometimes I feel like the ideal of the strategy that I came up with to prevent it was just to not let myself get attached or let anyone get attached to me. Because if I don't let you get attached to me and you get hurt, well, that's not on me. That's what I was telling myself. I'm not saying this is true. Okay. And maybe sometimes it is, but maybe sometimes it isn't. Right. And so now I have something to work with. All right, I'm leaving. I'm going now. I'm done. We'll get into some funner subjects next time. Bye. Bye, Geraldine. My freestyle dancing is heavy inspired by my Tai Chi training. See, so you know what it's like, Trevor. You know. So it gets really good. I hope that some people will join me too when I do these dances. You know, just get up and start moving. I hope it'll inspire you to just get up and start moving. Thanks, Chris. All right, thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate you as always. And I will see you next week. And if there's anything else that I need to mention, I'm trying to think of it real quick before I head out the door here. Thanks again to my mods for showing up here today. I really appreciate that. Thanks to all my friends that have come here to support me. I truly hope that I can be of some service to you. And I hope that you feel much loved in your life. Yep. And I think on that note, we're going to take off. Yep. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Oh, wait.